Customers are shocked by the price difference on the same items at various different Loblaws stores.
We found the most expensive products at Loblaws, and we're going to see if they're actually worth the money.
Loblaw Group of companies has agreed to now pay $500 million of its role in a bread price fixing scheme.
This corporation is having an absolute laugh.
Canadian shoppers have accused Loblaws.
No Name is supposed to be a cheaper brand, but it's now being priced as a premium brand.
An Ontario TikToker called out Loblaws over the size of a pre-made wrap that filled only half the package.
Here's what Galen Weston is doing now. He's using the excuse of tariffs to price gouge.
Loblaws reported record profits in 2023 and 2024.
Loblaws. This one is for $99.
Loblaws, more like Roblaws.
We find out that Canadian grocers are overcharging us for meat.
Welcome to Canadian Rant. Let's be honest, Canadians feel it every single time we walk into a grocery store. Prices keep rising, packages keep shrinking, and somehow we're always told, it's inflation, it's global, nothing can be done. But what if that's not the full story? Today we're talking about Loblaws, the most powerful grocery giant in Canada, and why it feels completely unstoppable. This isn't just about high prices. This is about market control, lack of competition, and a system that keeps Canadians paying more while having fewer real choices. And to prove this isn't just theory, I did something simple. I went to a local produce stand in Toronto. Same city, same day, same product, and I'll show you exactly how much I paid for berries there compared to Loblaws. The difference is shocking. This video isn't anti-business, it's pro-consumer. Because when one corporation controls too much of our food supply, every Canadian pays the price. Let's break down why Loblaws can't be stopped, and how this monopoly is quietly ripping off Canadians.
Customers are shocked by the price difference on the same items at various different Loblaws stores in Canada. A Reddit user uploaded photos showing the price difference on the same items at the Superstore and Shoppers Drug Mart. The user also said the blatant price gouging between their own stores, and they're not even hiding it. What are your thoughts on this? And for more news like this, make sure you're always following BlogTO on TikTok.
I can't prove this, but I bet Loblaws knows customers are making less trips to their stores, and that's why they pumped up the prices on nearly everything, because they still want to get some money out of you. And so they know the one trip that you are going to make is going to cost you an arm and a leg. $2.50 for the set of broccoli is absolutely criminal. That's not even a meal. Save just 11% off this focaccia. Like, come on, it's not even tax. And these udons, I literally bought fresh udon the other day for half the price at CNC. There's no way they could justify this. And you can say, sure, employee costs have gone up. There's a little bit of inflation, whatever it is. But how do you justify this? That's just my theory, but I'm pretty sure they know the frequency of customer trips to their stores has gone down.
Loblaws. This one is for $99. Look how it is. See? They don't return it because it's final sale. Immediately I wanted to return it. They didn't accept it because it's final sale. They don't care about people.
Toronto! Did you hear about this? Canadian shoppers have accused Loblaws for ripping people off on donation bags. Here's all the info you need. This accusation to Loblaws went viral all over Reddit this weekend, claiming that Loblaws was selling $5 donation bags that were barely worth $4. It went so viral that Loblaws responded, stating that their donation bag was worth $5 at retail value. And a lot of people on Reddit are not agreeing with this. They're stating the retail value of this bag is $6. So Toronto, what are your thoughts on this? And can Loblaws do anything right? Let me know below.
Have you ever bought the no-name brand specifically because you wanted to save money? Well, have you noticed that no-name products are now priced above brand name products? Because a lot of people are starting to see through Galen Weston's lies. No-name is supposed to be a cheaper brand, but it's now being priced as a premium brand, giving all of those profits up and down the supply chain right to Galen Weston. And No Name markets itself on Switch and Save, saying that you'll save money by buying No Name products, but the No Name products, sometimes, especially in the dairy aisle, have been priced higher than the premium items. Like, just take a look at the price of cheese. Because not only is the No Name brand priced higher, it actually has less grams than Black Diamond. And for here, when you compare Gaylee Nordica to the regular No Name sour cream, exact same price. And it's not even like the No Name stuff is better quality. And so when Galen Weston sells you the BS line that they aren't making a lot of money in the grocery industry, just remember, they make money all up and down the production because they own the production of most of the products they sell in their stores. No Name on the cheap, sell it to you at a premium, and all of that is profit.
An Ontario TikToker called out Loblaws over the size of a pre-made wrap that filled only half the package.
Like, I'm all for like an overpriced pre-made sandwich, but like this is offensive. Look how small that is. I imagine that probably costs like $1 to make, if that.
And although he notes he's all for an expensive pre-made sandwich, he says this tiny $7 wrap was offensive, and many took to the comments saying that they have the haves and that Galen's yacht doesn't pay for itself.
Happy morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're checking out this glorious video. It's FAQ Toronto. And yes, I'm back in Loblaws. Just a price check. Checking if the Torontonians or Canadians are getting value for their money. And I can honestly tell you, you're not getting value for your money. Grapes at $4.99 a pound. $4.99 a pound. That's going to be about 10 or 11, maybe 12 bucks. That's like a bottle of wine. This corporation is having an absolute laugh. Recent trip to England, about the same amount of grapes, a pound, £1. That's about $2.50. I tell you, something's going on. Write your comments, let me know what you think. Are you going to boycott this restaurant? Not restaurant, supermarket. See, the price has got me giddy. Let me know what your thoughts are anyway in the comments.
Loblaws reported record profits in 2023 and 2024, billions in revenue, while Canadians struggled with grocery inflation. They charged $3.79 for Dempster's and $2.29 for No Name, products made in the same facility with the same ingredients. The price difference? Pure profit. You're paying for the brand name, not better quality. And Canadians keep paying it.
Loblaws, more like Roblaws. No per bank, this is our cause. Galen Weston, here's a lesson. We don't back down, there's no question. How the hell did you get a $20 million salary when people running in the streets of food banks and lotteries? 2017, we got you in your artery when you were fixing bread prices. Yeah, that's highway robbery. Yeah, we all know what you like to do. We got your strategy unlocked, so don't you think of us as fools. First you buy up land with all of your tools, then there ain't no competition making us play by your rules. Loblaws, more like Roblaws. No per bank, this is our cause. Galen Weston, here's a lesson. We don't back down, there's no question. Hello everybody, yeah, I'm Galen Weston. I'm no longer president, I'm just resting. If you have a problem, call the food professor. Give him $60K so he can buy a dresser. Please stop calling me with all of your problems. Get a PC World Elite so you can solve them. During COVID, we made record-breaking profits, took some money from the government and topped it. Now let me tell you something about shrinkflation. Same price, less food, I blame inflation. Oh, you caught on to my new equation? Yeah, we like to call it enshittification. The strategy is that we put you in a mood, but forcing you to eat expired food. Once you get upset, then it's step 2. Organics 400, oops, it might have some poo. Loblaws, more like Roblaws. No per bank, this is our cause. Galen Weston, here's a lesson. We don't back down, there's no question.
When you get into the details, there is significant risk of higher prices and empty shelves.
I went to Superstore yesterday and I found my wife's favorite fruit being sold today, mangosteen. But look what happened when I went to go open it. They were all rotten, the ones that I opened up. So I bought about 6 in total, and I know that they don't ship very well, but I was really hopeful that they were actually going to be good this time. These things are really expensive. I know, probably not worth it, but it was almost $8 for like 6 of these. So now I have to go back to Superstore and get a refund. So I have to waste my time once again to go and return some rotten fruit. This is exactly why I always keep grocery receipts now, because something inevitably ends up being rotten and I have to go back and take something back to the store.
In today's edition of Canadians Getting Fucked Over by Corporations, we find out that Canadian grocers are overcharging us for meat. CBC investigation uncovers grocers overcharging customers by selling underweight meat. Blah, blah, blah has been going on for years, says former food inspector. More like decades, but I digress. So Canadians are getting ripped off from basically all angles. Telecom, groceries, housing, clothing, basically every aspect of our lives is being gouged by some sort of predatory company which operates with impunity. So I don't know about you, but I'm bringing back my old standby. My famous Fuck Loblaws tote bag. And don't forget, the famous Starve graphic. And of course, my favorite discount oligarch, Galen fucking Weston. Because I think the more people know how savage and brutal these oligarchs who own basically everything in our country are, then we'll be able to put more public pressure on them personally and our legislators who, it appears, work for them. So, support your local union, support workers, and do what you can to fuck the oligarchs.
Guess what Galen Weston is doing now? He's using the excuse of tariffs to price gouge. You don't need a degree in economics to know this is fucked up. Did this during the pandemic, prices weren't brought back down, and now they're doing it again. I know that for some folks, like the elderly for instance, who can only access certain stores in their neighborhoods and, sometimes Loblaws is inevitably the only place. But if you can, as you should, boycott Loblaws. If y'all think $5 for a loaf of bread is a lot, I imagine it's going to be $7 or $8 now.
Another edition of grocery prices in Alberta. I just want to complain in general because I think food prices shouldn't be this high for anyone. I'm very fortunate in that I'm able to afford my groceries and still buy the things that I want. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't still complain about how we're getting absolutely gouged by grocery stores. So, next up, this was Loblaws today. It was close. I needed a small amount of things, so I went there. Also because I usually crave these flatbread pizzas. So, this was $65 at Loblaws. I got a whole bunch of broccoli because it was $1 a bunch. Some chips, as usual. Some milk, some chocolate milk. I didn't even buy the Starbucks coffee creamer this time. Some apple cider vinegar. We had some mango juices for smoothies. The whole reason I went there, the spicy flatbread. I needed mayo to make the salad I'm doing. Strawberries. One red onion was $3.50. Stupid. Cauliflower was on sale, bananas, and some dog treats. And that is $65, everyone. I hate it here.
I found the most expensive products at Loblaws, and we're going to see if they're actually worth the money. We're going to start with this paper towel. $35 for 8 rolls of paper towel. It is literally paper you wipe things with and then throw in the garbage. Why is it $35? I compared this with Walmart. They're selling this for half the price. $35 plus tax, diabolical. These chicken fingers are $14, okay? 700 grams for $14. I remember like 2 years ago, even a year ago, these were half the price normally. $14 on sale, $15 regular is diabolical. I'm sorry, crazy. Who's paying this? And then we have these KT cups, $8.27 for 4 snack cups. That doesn't even fill you up for a snack. They're so tiny. There's like 10 noodles in there. Like, who's paying this? I'm sorry. Bye-bye. And then my favorite, the instant coffee, no name, $17. You can get this exact thing at Walmart, name brand, for like $6. Who's paying $17 for 340 grams of no name instant coffee? Like, what?
Loblaw Group of companies has agreed to now pay $500 million of its role in a bread price fixing scheme. I'm sure people will remember this. It extends from 2001 to 2015.
Yeah, basically, this is one for the record books. This is the largest antitrust settlement in Canadian history. $500 million is what Loblaw and George Weston Group of companies have agreed to pay. The lawsuit alleges that Loblaw and Group of companies conspired to fix the price of bread across Canada. The Competition Bureau estimated that it was as high as an extra $1.50 a loaf, resulting in potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in profit. Now, the next steps, according to the law firm firms involved here is how to get that money into the hands of Canadians across the country. CEO of Weston's, that's Galen Weston, said that, quote, "This should never have happened. On behalf of the Weston Group of companies, we are sorry for the price-fixing behavior." Now Canadians get to participate. The terms will be agreed upon in the coming months. They don't expect any money to be distributed to the beginning of next year.
I'm wondering if you guys could help me out with something. I received a message from someone who needed to get medication, and they went to Shoppers Drug Mart, and it was nearly $600. Just so you guys know, I'm not making this stuff up.
So good old Mario's video here says that Shoppers Drug Mart is ripping you off. Yeah, Loblaws is gouging Canadians. We're being robbed at the checkout. And normally, yeah, we would agree. Grocery giants have screwed Canadians. But here's the part that Mario never mentions. His entire career, the company that he sold, and a massive chunk of his wealth, yeah, that came from working with Loblaws. Not against them, with them. So let me repeat that so it really sinks in. Yeah, this guy made his money off the exact corporations that he now pretends to expose. Majestic Media, Mario's company that he founded, it didn't just work with random brands. His first major client, the client that put him on the map, the contract that let him scale that agency, yeah, that was Loblaws. Yeah, the same Loblaws that own Shoppers Drug Mart. The same Loblaws he's yelling about today. The same Loblaws Canadians accuse of price gouging. And Mario built their digital systems. He helped with their marketing. He literally profited from the grocery empire that he now attacks. Yeah, he cashed in when Loblaws was consolidating the industry. A consolidation that the Harper conservatives approved, which crushed competition and raised food prices all across Canada. Did Mario speak up then? No, he invoiced them. And now, years later, after making millions of corporate dollars off of Loblaws for however long, Mario gets on TikTok, pointing at Shoppers Drug Mart, yelling, "Look how they're ripping us off." Yeah, Mario, we know they're ripping us off. You helped them build the fucking machine. This is like a firefighter showing up to put out a fire that he lit and demanding applause. Yeah, because when Loblaws needed someone to boost their digital presence, yeah, that was him. When they needed engagement, loyalty funnels, customer tracking, he built that. And when they needed tech infrastructure to stay ahead of their competitors, he was the one that delivered it. And now he wants to pretend that he's the whistleblower, some watchdog, the working class hero calling out corporate greed. No, man. You were on fucking payroll, bro. You don't get to build your wealth off Loblaws and then turn around and pretend that you're the one exposing them, bud. Go tell your friends.
So I'd like to demonstrate a perfect example of shrinkflation. So I used to get these all the time from Superstore, and I distinctly remember these having a dozen pieces, 6 on each side. And then last year I remember noticing, hey, for some reason they've only got 5 pieces a side, 10 pieces. Just got this pack, 4 per side. So now it's 8 pieces. Same price. Nothing's changed.
By now, one thing should be clear, though. This isn't just about expensive berries. It's about power. Loblaws doesn't just operate grocery stores. It controls multiple brands, supply chains, private labels, real estate, and even pricing influence across the country. When one company reaches that level of dominance, competition doesn't disappear overnight. It slowly suffocates. Smaller grocers can't negotiate the same supplier prices. Local stores can't survive the pressure. And Canadians are left choosing between different logos that all lead back to the same corporate giant. That's why prices feel unavoidable. That's why boycotts barely make a dent. That's why nothing seems to change. And here's the most frustrating part. Canadians are blamed for it. We're told to budget better, shop smarter, cut back, but no amount of budgeting fixes a system where food pricing power is concentrated at the top. When you see berries cost significantly less at a local produce stand, fresher, better quality, and without corporate branding, it exposes a hard truth. High prices aren't always inevitable. They're often strategic. This isn't a free market behaving naturally. This is a market shaped by dominance. So what can Canadians do? First, pay attention to where your money goes. Supporting local produce stands, independent grocers, and farmers markets isn't just about saving a few dollars, it's about keeping alternatives alive. Second, Stop accepting the narrative that nothing can be done. Countries with stronger competition laws and grocery oversight don't experience this level of price control. Policy choices matter. Third, talk about it. Corporations rely on silence and normalization. When people stop questioning prices, the system wins. This isn't about hating one company. It's about recognizing when too much power is placed in too few hands, especially when it comes to food, something every Canadian depends on. Because food isn't a luxury, it's not optional, and it shouldn't feel like a monthly punishment. If this video made you think differently about where you shop, share it. Not for outrage, but for awareness. Subscribe to Canadian Rant for more honest conversations about the systems quietly shaping our daily lives. Stay informed, support local when you can, and never stop asking, who's really setting the price?